In this video, I want to go over my thoughts on the market, and I'm just going to keep it short and sweet because there's not much else to say that I haven't. We are going sideways, and we've been doing so for quite literally a whole month, going on to a month and a half at this point. We don't know if the U.S. is going to attack Iran or whatever. Something about 2 weeks. I don't really keep track, if I'm being honest. But if we look at the price action of MAGs, we've been going sideways since May 13. Mara stock since May 13. A lot of stocks created highs, new recent highs around May 12, May 13, but since then it's just sideways action. It's just sideways action. And we go look at the SPY, the S&P 500. Where's the SPY? Well, if we look at Bitcoin, same thing, right? Because Mara and Bitcoin follow each other, and Riot and all that. It's just going sideways for over, which is insane. I don't think I've ever have I don't think I've ever seen the stock market behave like this, where it just goes sideways for a whole month and a half. Someone did say maybe this administration is going to cause the stock market to just stall, meaning that for the next 4 years we're just going to go sideways, which is fine. But a bull run is preferable because stocks just keep going up and it's hard to lose when everything just keeps going up. But right now what we're experiencing is for those of you who are newer to the stock market, those of you who joined the Discord, patreon.com/shitandtrades back at the beginning of the year, back in that last hoorah with the quantum stocks and the AI stocks and robotic stocks all pumping. For those of you newer to the stock market, I've never seen it behave like this. I've never seen it. In 2021, I said the same thing. I've never seen the stock market behave the way it did in 2021, where everything was just skyrocketing thousands of percentages. But now we're kind of getting a new kind of, I don't know if this is going to be the new normal, where we just, something is happening and the Trump administration says, hey, 2 weeks, or, deals in 3 weeks and a month, 90 days out. And people, and because they give these timelines, because they say, hey, 90 days out, we're going to make deals or whatever, because they give dates, the stock market stalls for that long because they're just waiting on the decision, because nobody wants to actually make a move. So, and that sucks, because that's, if President Trump says, hey, 2 weeks from now we'll figure out what we're gonna do, the market just stalls for 2 weeks. So this has been happening with this administration for even before they got into power. Even before they got into power, the stock market. So he won. Trump won on what? November 5th. Where's November 5th? Right here. Let me remove the volume. What is volume doing here? I don't look at volume. Who cares about volume? November 5th, 2024. Right. This is when Trump, got the big dub. Right. And then the stock market. Guess what it did afterwards? You see what I'm saying? It just stalled between 150 and 130. It stalled since November 5 till we hit this peak here on January 24. And then we dropped right here, the DeepSeek drop, right? So we went sideways. Once he won the election, once it was sealed, once he got that dub, we just went sideways. And then obviously we fell to new lows for Nvidia here at 86, and then we rallied, and now we're stalling up here again. And we're literally stalling in the same area here, in the exact same area. We're stalling again. Only this time it's actually a little tighter and more. Look at this. You see the difference between this consolidation, this sideways price action, this stalling is a little more volatile, right? We're jumping up and down between 130 and 150. Here we're just staying in a tight range between 143 and 146. I bought an Nvidia Leap possibly for nothing because this thing ain't moving. Nothing's moving right now except for anything with a catalyst behind it or hype behind it, news behind it. But when you look at the stock market as a whole, and you take into account what I just showed you here, since November, isn't it interesting that since November 5th, we just stalled? Only the difference between then and now is just we're still stalling up here, but it's just a much less volatile price range. And again, let's look at where's the S&P 500? I don't know where it is. I think uranium's stalling as well, right? Yeah, uranium's just going sideways here. Why can't I find the SPY? Bitcoin markets are, yeah, Bitcoin is stalling. SPY stalling. You can see very clearly stalling here. It's really not going much of anywhere. And I just don't. I've never seen this before. This kind of stalling. Usually when we stall like this, we drop. See, we stalled here, and we dropped. Stalled, dropped, stalled, dropped. Every stall has led to a drop. So I wonder if we're gonna pull back once the administration, says, "Hey, this is what's gonna happen with Iran," and the market reacts by falling, or maybe it pumps. I don't even know at this point. But the point is, I've never seen the stock market stall for over a month and a half. Like, that's insane. I've seen it stall, but not for a month and a half. I want you to think about that. If it goes on for 2 months, imagine 2 months being in the stock market and stocks don't go into a bull run. Because that's what we want. We want a bull run. I know a lot of people join my Discord because they're like, I think the next 4 years are going to be great. Trump is in office. I think the next 4 years are going to be an incredible bull run. But what we're getting right now is actually no bull run. We haven't broken to new highs. We're just stalling up here again for the second time. Because this is the second time we're stalling. Again, look at that. This is the SPY, by the way. Where's November 5th? You're going to see the exact same pattern. Again, the S&P 500 represents the top 500 companies in the U.S. So as you can imagine, you start your dollar cost averaging into SPY, and you still haven't been in the green because everything just keeps stalling. That would suck. I hope the next 4 years aren't stalling. I really hope that's not the case. I hope we go into a bull run because a bull run is beautiful. It's hard to lose when everything just keeps going up. And it's everyone's a genius because it just doesn't stop going up. There's more green candles than red, so you just buy a red candle and it goes up green. Boom! It's just hard to lose. It's very easy to make money in a bull run. That's what we want. Sideways action is fine, but it's when it stalls for too long in a tight range, it's just kind of like, oh well, there's not much to do, not much to make. But yeah, same thing, right? Trump won here November 5th, and we went to new highs, and then we just stalled, and we dropped, right? And then we rallied, and we're just stalling up here. So, if anything, it looks like the market wants to drop. It looks like it, but we'll see what actually ends up happening. So that's my opinion, just based on previous patterns. This pattern right now, recent one, the one where we're just trading within a very tight range, and there's just not much going on with the markets as a whole. Now, again, if you're trading stocks that have news behind it, hype behind it, then obviously they've been moving. But I'm talking about the top 500 companies right now because that's what the S&P 500 represents. If the top 500 companies are just going, nowhere, it's probably not a good thing, right? So it does not bode well for the rest of the market, is what I'm trying to say. And Bitcoin itself is just not going anywhere. It also looks like it wants to drop lower. So that's kind of the issue I've noticed. Because it's an issue. We don't want stalling. We want things to go up with some pullbacks. And then we go higher and higher and higher. And it's just easy money. So I hope the next 4 years are not stalling. I really hope not. Because that would just blow. that would blow. Like, imagine 4 years of stock market just not going much of anywhere. So whenever Trump gives a timeline, like 2 weeks or 90 days, the stock market just tends to stall, is what I've noticed. Like, it also depends on the news, but for almost what? Let's see. Here's where I even marked it here, apparently. May 12th, and what's now? Oh, yeah, it's June 20th. Yeah, that's right. No, it's June 21st. What am I saying? It's June 21st. So, yeah, we're going on to a month and a half of just sideways action. That's insanity. We rallied on April 7, and then I would say the rally kind of stopped on May 12th. Because we've just been going sideways. Pretty much ever since we got above that purple line, we've been going sideways here. Yeah, no. Let me look at the weekly just to make sure I'm not crazy. I hope we don't form like a double top here. That would be That would be that kind of does look like it. That's what's so I don't know. Is that a double top, guys? That looks like a double top. A double top means we would just tank. I think I saw a double top on Bitcoin as well. Yeah, on Bitcoin you can see, right, the double top, and we got a double top here on Bitcoin back then, and we just tanked. This is the monthly time frame, by the way, so we just tanked for months. 3 months of tanking, 2 months of a little pullback, and then another 3 months of tanking. Then we went sideways and finally went on a bull run for Bitcoin. But we're getting that same exact double, not M pattern, double top. So when you see that kind of confluence, I guess is the word I'm looking for. When you see the crypto market and also the SPY showing the exact same setup, it's probably the time to pay attention. So that let's hope that's not the case. I don't know what would cause the markets to fall a lot, but we'll see. Anything can happen, as we've just seen. Anything can happen. Not looking good. Not looking good. But hey, you've already been through a downtrend. If you've been around since the beginning of the year, you've already been through a 4 or 5 month bear market. You've already been through it. You've already been through all this. The S&P 500 again represents the top 500 companies. So for what, 4 months, 5 months, we just tanked. For 4 months we went nowhere and then tanked. So you've already been through this. So if we drop again, it's nothing more than an opportunity to buy the discount under the purple line, because that would mean we're going to go under the purple line again. So you've already been through it, and that's a good thing. It's always important to go through your first bear market. That way you understand like how the game is played. That way you understand like, oh, it's not time to panic. It's time to buy more on the good ones. Obviously, if you're buying more on garbage, and it can just keep going down, right? Because it's trash. It doesn't have the revenues. It doesn't have the demand it doesn't have the demand for their product / service and increasing revenues and all that available cash. It doesn't have what the top 500 companies have. So as long as you're not buying trash, you should be fine. So my prediction, if I'm gonna go off of these patterns, I think we're gonna fall, and just have some cash ready to buy the dip. Maybe double down on some of the good positions that you hold that are gonna recover. Because another thing you learned, the good thing about going through a bear market is you learn how it's played. You know not to be scared. You also know that, hey, the stock market fell. And then a lot of stocks recovered that, right? You can see the S&P 500 fell to 480, recovered most of the move because it's at 594 right now, and highs is at 609. So if your favorite stock is, let's say your favorite stock is Riot stock or Mara or whatever, let's say Riot is your favorite stock, well, you can see it dropped. It dropped with the markets down to as low as 6. But then it recovered from 6 to a high of 1080. So now that, hey, if Riot gets real cheap again, I'm just going to double down, because we know that this one recovers. There are stocks that don't recover after a bear market. Let me see if I can find one. Well, I know, yeah, Color's probably a good example, actually. Never mind. Color's a great example of this. Had its last hurrah here along with the markets, then it dropped, right? It just tanked. And it did not recover with the markets. Instead, it's dropping even lower and doing a reverse split. So as you can see, a perfect example of why you don't buy garbage. No offense to colored shareholders, but this did not follow the market. The market's almost at all-time highs. When you look at the S&P 500, it's literally like, what, $14 away from highs. Meanwhile, this thing kept tanking while the market was ripping. I mean, the market's stalling now, but the funny thing is when the market stalled, this thing just decided to go lower. So that's something to think about. I mean, it stalled here and then it just dropped lower. I don't know. But this is a perfect example of, you look at Riot stock and you notice that, hey, it has good recovery after a bear market. And that's important information, because now you have the confidence, like, yeah, I know that if Riot goes back to 6, I'm going to double down, because guess what? I know it's going to recover, because it has a history of recovering with the markets. And that's very important information, because it gives you confidence in your strategy more than anything. Color stock, on the other hand, you would look at this and be like, it doesn't really recover at all. It just keeps going down. It does not follow the markets. So it followed the markets here on this huge pump, but on where's the bear market recovery? There has been no bear market recovery. It just keeps going lower. So you would look at a stock like this and be like, screw that, get off my watch list, basically. So if you bought Riot over Color right now, you're basically you're winning. You're winning because you chose something that was, yes, $8 more expensive or $10 more expensive or $6 more expensive, but hey, that's fine. You're paying six times more for Riot stock per share, but you got the safety of it recovers. And that's I don't know why people have this mentality of, oh, this stock is $1 and under, it's such a good opportunity. But the reality is, these penny stocks are super risky, which is why I don't really alert them anymore, except for Sybil because of the Palantir partnership. I'll make another video on that. Anyways, that's probably the biggest takeaway is you've been here before. You shouldn't be scared so long as you're buying the good ones that follow the market and that have good bear market recovery strength. MSTR, you can just go through your watch list, honestly. I mean, here's my watch list. I'm just going to scroll through and you can just copy it if you want. Just go one by one, adding as I scroll here. You're going to have to pause, obviously, but like you can go through and see like, oh, let's look at Quantum ETF. Damn, what a recovery. It recovers very well. Dropped to 63 and recovered to 90. And what was let's see, that was a nice 43%er from low to high. Like, you can go to SoFi, same thing, right? Dropped from 18 to a low of 8, and now it's at 15, almost 100%er from low to high. So you can very easily go through your watch list and just get rid of the ones that don't have much bear market recovery, that don't have the strength that some of these have. So that's why I always tell people, like, a bear market is probably one of the most important things you have to go through as a new investor or trader, so that you can understand that the market goes in cycles, and when things go down, you don't get scared, you double down. You get a second job, you find a way to make more money to put more into the markets when it's in a bear market, when things are discounted under that purple line. Because every stock on my watch list, not every stock, but almost every stock on my watch list that went under the purple line, this is too long of a video, but, Mags went under the purple line, Mara under the purple line, Sybil under the purple line, and look where it's at right now. Even Mobilicom under the purple line. I alerted this one in the Discord, and we sold it at, 47% or something? I don't remember. But we could have held it, actually. I didn't think it was going to go this far. Goddamn. I think if we had continued to hold it, yeah, we could have made 100%. Because it's at 3.52, which, again, I didn't know I was going to move that much. I was like, you know what, 40% is good. But damn. So you can see all these stocks, not these. Look at this one, hollow stock under the purple line, but it never recovers above it. So this is trash. You can just, take it and remove from watch list if you want. I'm not going to do that because I have to talk about, because I run a YouTube channel, or else I would get rid of it. But, yeah, all the stocks that were under the purple line, a lot of them are now, above it. And, yeah, it really is that easy as long as you're buying ones that have that recovery. So I can look, even SMCI went under the purple line, then above it. Woo! Oh my God! So what a difficult strategy. A purple line, SoundHound under the purple line even right now, and it still recovered from 6 to 12, a nice 100% from low to high. So even Netflix here touched the purple line, briefly went under it, and then went from 800 to 1,200. Who says that you can't make a lot of money buying a stock that's $800 a piece? Because it literally moved 50% from low to high. like, let me look at the monthly. This thing is in a bull run. It didn't even have a bear market this year. When everything else dropped, this one just kept going. It didn't even go under the purple line for that long. I think it just teased it here and it just went. Teased it here and it went. So anyone who tells you, oh, a stock is too expensive, I'm not buying that because you can't make 50% or more. Hell no, that's just stupid. You could have bought at 800 and sold right now 1,200, you would have made 50%. So I don't know. I don't know why people think more expensive stocks equals, oh, I'm not going to make as much. Hell no, you can make hundreds of percentages, but you got to have the patience, which again, most people don't have, right? They want to buy their colored penny stock. It goes from $1 to 5, woohoo, 500%. But it comes at the cost of huge risk. And that's just something people never take into account. They just look at the big bucks. Like, I know a guy in my Discord who loves MSTR, but he doesn't take into account any risk. He's just thinking, oh, I'm bullish on it for sure. We're gonna go to the moon. But if Quantum destroys Bitcoin, Mr. Joey Shaw is gonna look like a fool, and he's gonna sit there with zero in the bank at that point, because I think he's going very heavy into MSTR, I think, if I recall. So, it's people just focus on, oh, in the future it's going to be worth so much more, but they don't even want to look at the risk at all. Especially the people that go heavy into Bitcoin or go heavy into color or any of those other risky stocks. That's all I got to say. I mean, a lot of stocks right now, they're above their purple line. So if we get an opportunity again to buy under the purple line, you know what to do. But just make sure you're buying something that recovers very well. Again, if your stock looks like color stock, where it just never recovered, whereas everything else did, if it doesn't have the bear market recovery strength, don't bother with it. Remove it from your watch list. Like uranium here, like everything is above the purple line. Oh no, actually, Serve Robotics right at the purple line. Richtech Robotics under the purple line. A good opportunity. I think it's better to wait for 137 at that point. Richtech Robotics, super risky, of course. Let's see, AITX, it was going sideways here along with the purple line, and then now it's just never going to recover, it seems. So some stocks, even if they do have a history of recovering from a bear market, sometimes they become stocks that never recover. That's what you're seeing right now. You're seeing this stock, AITX, transition from a stock that would fluctuate around the purple line and give you all these pumps, right, above the purple line, or the purple line would act as resistance here and here. It's gone from that to kind of being like hollow stock, right? It's just tanking and never really, like, it's kind of finished is what I'm trying to say. Like, it just doesn't recover. Hollow stock it looks almost like hollow stock, right? Oh, well, on its way there. And even hollow stock has its pumps, but ultimately it just never goes above the 200. So really that purple line strategy is really simple. And as long as you know how to use it properly and you're patient, disciplined, it's hard to lose. Anyways, I think I've rambled for too long. Hopefully you learned something from this. I haven't learned anything at this point because sometimes I'm talking and I'm like, did I learn anything from my own video? No, I just, if anything, I learned from my own video, this video that I'm making right now. The only thing I've learned, I would say, this week is if a stock gets a partnership with Palantir or Nvidia, just chase the stock because it just keeps going. That's the first thing I learned, but I kind of already knew that from Sound and Serve and CoreWeave. But another thing I learned this week, I would say I learned that with this new president at the helm, the stock market's behavior has definitely changed versus back then. So, but you wouldn't know that if you haven't been around long enough. If you just joined the stock market in 2025, then obviously you're, as far as you know, the stock market is just doing what it's. But this isn't normal. But this might be the new normal, as far as I'm concerned. This whole stalling kind of price action, which sucks. I'd rather we just, slowly climb, pull back a little bit, slowly climb, pull back a little bit. Just a bull run, guys. I hope we go into another bull run. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but I hope we just don't stall, man. That would be horrible. That would be awful.